Welcome to Soulful Self-Care series, and in this video we're going to talk about emotional self-care. This is Patri from paripatri.com, and I welcome you to this channel, to this videos, and I'd love to hear your feedback, your comments on everything that I'm talking here, and anything that you may have questions, please put that in the comments and I'll be sure to address that in my next video. And make sure you do not forget to subscribe, and like this video, share, and also click on that bell icon so that you get notified every time I release a new video. And so let's talk about, just to doing a recap, we talked about self-care, how it is so important, and also what it is really. It's the mindset piece of it. And also we talked about the physical self-care, the mental self-care. In this video we are diving deep into the emotional self-care, emotional side of it. Well, we talked about how a thought creates, an emotion to it. Whenever we have a thought, that actually triggers a series of neurons. We have 1 billion neurons in our brain, and every time a thought gets activated, there are a set of neurons that get activated, and that activates different communities of neurons based on the programming, the past programming, based on the pattern that we have created. Anytime we repeat an experience, repeat a thought, it becomes a pattern. It becomes a default pattern route because it got repeated more times, and that will lead to that emotion that we have tied to those past experiences, and that emotion gets activated when we start living that emotion. Even though the subconscious mind doesn't, again, as I said, it doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. So even though it happened in past, since the pattern is getting activated, it still activates the emotion, and our heart goes into this incoherent signature, sends information to our brain to activate the stress response, and we go back into that pattern. So if you can see, we are really controlled. We are living in this auto mode. We are not really consciously living. Most of the times we live in auto mode, auto control. And this exercise, this video series, I'm doing this to inspire you, to motivate you to work on yourself, to get out of that auto mode and start really consciously making choices that are beneficial for you. It's important to understand that we all have choices. We all can choose what we want. We all can choose our emotions. We all can choose our thoughts, which are beneficial to us. And you have that power because you are a powerful co-creator. You can create anything that you want. You can really start creating the life you want and experience the best life by just changing your mind, by just changing that um, thoughts, emotions, the way you feel, and changing your personality. By that, we start changing the reality. So now coming to emotions. So whenever you start experiencing an emotion, draining emotion that we talked about, such as um, anger, frustration, um, feeling stuck, trapped, or that's the frustration part of it. Anxiety, depression, sadness, guilt. Guilt is a big part. Self-care and guilt, really, when we start focusing on ourselves, guilt is an emotion that comes up pretty often, and that probably I have to do another video for it. So guilt is something because now we are giving ourselves priority. So people around us may not be used to that part, that kind of behavior from you. So that may stir guilt in you, and that is an emotion coming out because of the programming that we hold, that we are a people pleaser, that we put ourselves in the last. So if you're experiencing that, it is coming because of the programming that we hold. So so first, recognize what emotion is coming up, what is surfacing out. What emotion are you feeling? Being in tune with those emotions, experience, write that down. Again, keep a journal and pen with you so you write those things down and really understand, because you may forget in that flow of emotions, you may forget, but write that down. If you are serious about and changing it, if you are want to commit yourself that you are creating this transformation. You no longer want to experience the same thing that you have been. You want to come out as a different person, as a different experience. Then this is something that will help you change that pattern, change that theme that is being repeated all the time. Maybe you're attracting the same boss, maybe you're attracting the same partner, attracting same experience. And if you want to break that pattern, change, then this is important to understand what is surfacing, what emotion is surfacing. Now, on the contrary to most people say, look at the story and change. I don't care about the stories. Whatever story that you have, that emotion is coming out. Let's not look into the stories. Let's just change the emotion. Okay, this is the fastest way of. I'm giving you really the gist of everything that I do. This is super powerful. So make sure you are taking notes. Make sure and even watch this video again and again to understand what I'm saying. Forget about the story that you have to for that emotion, the story that you attach to that emotion. Why this emotion is coming up? Because of so and so that happened to me. Forget about the story. The story is not important at this point. Let's change the emotion, shift the emotion, switching the emotion. One of the most um, powerful way is to get come into gratitude. Immediately shift into gratitude. Think about the things that you're grateful about in your life. If you're feeling guilt, shame, anger, frustration, understand that those emotions are expensive to you. You're draining your energies, you're using more of energy to process them. So they are expensive to you. Treat your energies as money. Then you'll be more mindful about where you're using energy. So then start thinking that they're expensive. So you need to shift into into your coherence. So one of the most powerful ways is bringing gratitude in understanding, being thankful for what you have. And you can also say thanks to you, to what you want in your life, and thinking that it already happened. Say if you want a brand new luxury car, say thank you, I'm so grateful that I have this amazing blue BMW in my life. Say thanks to what you want, and as if you already have it. Start practicing that. Bring gratitude. Doing some breathing exercises. One of the most powerful way is a heart focused breathing. That is just bringing your attention to your heart and um, and breathing through your heart. This is one of the ways you can quickly shift, bring yourself into coherence. Just 2 to 3 minutes. Another powerful way is, one of my favorites also is the alternative breathing technique. That is, this is called anulom vinulom. This is one of my favorite ways to bring coherence, balance your male female energies, and get out of that mode, that draining emotion, and shift yourself into more empowering, more beneficial emotion. So this exercise, about anytime you find yourself experiencing an emotion which is draining you, take a moment, pause, understand, observe what's happening, write that down, and shift yourself. Choose something, maybe walking in nature, maybe uh, listening to some music. Music is great to shift our emotion. So listening to music, doing alternative breathing, heart focused breathing. There are many, many tools to bring. So I had days when I thought that staying in an emotion is when I stay in that, maybe that sulking mode, or maybe in that anger mode, I show my caring, that I really care about what's a relationship. That's what I thought. uh, but that's just not true. That's not true. um, is we don't empower any relationship by draining ourselves. It is just a belief system. So choose a belief, choose an emotion that works for you, that elevates you, that because when you are energetic, when you are charged, you can help others. Until then, you cannot. That's the whole purpose of this self-care series, is to empower you, to get you charged, so you can be in service or to others, to do what you are here for, to to be your best self in everything, in every to be your best version in every relationship and every part of your life. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video, and put your comments below, and if you have any questions, and I will answer those questions. You can also contact me via email at connect@paripatri.com. Visit my website paripatri.com to get more information about what I do. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video where we talk about spiritual self care.